What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Been a bit, dude. We're in like a vacuum. It's Saturday morning here in Sydney, 6 a.m. Wherever you are in the world, I say welcome. As you guys are tapping in, let me know what's up. Remember to like this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that. Also pinned here in the comments section, join our Johnny Says Boxing VIP Professional Bettors Discord. That group is growing. It's my favorite thing about what I'm doing here online is our growing Discord. Join here on YouTube to access more perks. Also, if you guys are unable to join on YouTube, but you want to get access to the Discord, I launched the Patreon a few days ago to give you guys another option to join the Discord, as well as if you want to support me in any other way, tip your bartender, that sort of thing. So those links are pinned. I want to give a shout out to our newest members, getting a Vil and then Stand on Business rejoined. Yeah, so been a real good. We're on a heater. We're on a heater since. Yeah, we're just doing what we always do. We up. Uh, it's early. It's my Saturday morning, so you know I have love for the game. I have sparring in about 2 hours, so I'm gonna stay live for an hour, and then I'm gonna run to the city to spar like I always do Saturday mornings, and then I'll be back for the MVP card. So in this video, we could talk about everything that happened the week that was, if you want. We could talk about our winning tickets if you want, or we could focus on what's in front of us. As you guys are tapping in, I'll leave the mic to you guys. I'm going to start saying my what's ups right now. That Harrington fight, dude, I told you, Eddie, to take Harrington. I think I was the only one taking Harrington. I told you guys, I brought it up on the feed. I shared the whole ticket in the Discord. I said these three favorites will win. I was like, Harrington, he's been in there with the better opponents. I was like, Brian Polanco. You guys, I think, thought his name was Polanco. I was like, this isn't that guy. I said he hasn't fought in 18 months. He hasn't fought anybody. And at plus 200, dude, we broke this down. We broke this down. I told you guys I was taking Harrington. Can't wait for the fights today. I beefed up my parlay with some W. Get your money, Chris Weeks, boy. Chris is eating. Eating. We'll talk about the odds. We'll talk about a couple different bets. Yeah, well, we got to talk about the fight card. And I mean, I'm not, we'll talk about it. The Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight. You guys could ask. I'm not, if there's one prop bet, look, if this is a legit fight, this is ending in the first round. I think there's a prop that I'll play. I think it's a 2 knockdown prop. I think it pays plus 110. But other than that, I'm not there. The fights that I'm playing on this MVP card, I shared in the Discord. Well, the boys are tapping in, playa. As you guys are saying, what's up? We're already at about 40 people right now, 3 minutes in, just like the video. Back on a heater, I see Johnny Boy. What here? Dude, we are out here cooking. We hit both of our dogs. We hit Santiago at plus 420 in Japan. Yeah, we're eating everywhere. We hit Harrington yesterday at plus 3. We hit all of our parlays in the UK. We hit all of our parlays in Japan. I hit a plus 800. I hit a 10-legger in the NFL yesterday, plus 800. Yeah, we're out here eating. We all seen that underdog, boy. What are you talking about? I was at the park one day. What's up, PJ? That's when I saw her face. She looked kinda catty to me. That's when I'll take her home and tap that ass. I'm gone. I'm just a dog, don't blame me. Now, do you love them hoes? Hell no. Cause why is that? Because he's Snoop Doggy Dogg. And you never gave a fuck about a bitch. Cause to you, I gave you guys this. We broke this shit down. Nobody wanted to listen to me though. Harrington, just so PJ knows, he says nobody's seen that underdog. We all saw it. And I'm not the only one. The boys in the chat tailed me. So shout out to the boys in the chat. You know who you are. I shared it on my Instagram story. So yeah, we'll move on. Let's see what time it is. Dude, it was gorgeous. Gorgeous setup. Do you have an underdog? We'll go over that in a second. Super chat. Win, my dude. Win's on a heater too. It ain't just me. It ain't just me. Win. Let me show you Win's heater. I'm gonna give Win's my guy. Before I started the Discord, Win and I would go back and forth on my email. And he would send me his bet slips, and we would talk. This was like maybe a year ago. So here's Win here. Win heater. Win heater. 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 My guy's on a heater. King of fitness out here eating. Win again out here eating. Dog, this shit is so fun, man. I love our Discord. But they want thanks for the super chat, big homie. All right, where are we at? Greetings, PJ. You got PJ, because bro, you got to get back in the Discord. You want timeout, baby boo boo? Mazi, nah. See, the football shit, I do it. I do my football props, not part like I'm just part of the community. Like our Discord, I spearhead it, and you get all my boxing picks. And if I bet on MMA fights, you get it. But man, like the NBA, the NFL, I grew up playing those sports. So like as you guys are posting, I'm part of the community. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you were to be like, hey Johnny, what do you like this, in this game? I'll get back to you. But other than that, who are your picks for Saturday? Cobbs is not fighting anymore. And I wasn't gonna play that fight. Blair Cobbs is out, just to give you guys a heads up. Bumgarner versus Baudouin. He has 12 threes. I got Alicia on points. She hasn't been the same since she popped for steroids. I can play a message for you guys. I'll play you some insider info real quick. So Alicia Bumgarner, it was like a known thing that this is from a well-reputed source.
Yeah, bro. Plus 105. I mean, it's beyond realistic.
Hold on, this one.
Oh, yeah, she also hasn't scored a KO in years because she's no longer on the sauce. She got popped once, and she got away with it, but she was definitely juicing. I mean, she looks like she has a fucking cock sometimes. She used to be really good looking. I met her in person because Van Hal just started a promotional company, Real Deal Promotions, here in New York years ago. So when I first was wrapping up my career and started commentating, I commentated for Real Deal Promotions, a couple of shows, and they had her signed. They had a good little.
I'll spare you. I'll share that in the Discord. But that's my boy. He's insider. He's in the game. He's deep in the game. We haven't seen Alicia get a knockout in forever. I don't think she scored a knockout since she was on steroids. So like, she didn't look great in her last fight either. I got to be honest with you. That fight she could have lost. I thought she lost against Michaela Mayer. So it is a 12-rounder, 3 minutes. Look, I'm not going. Look, we're up, boys. There's one fight I really like on this MVP card. I'll go over it. Here's my one bet I really like. And I brought this up in the Discord. I was challenging the boys. I was like, is anybody seeing this fight? All right, here's why I like this fight. Obviously, Avius Griffin is not the guy that MVP. I mean, MVP signs Avius Griffin. I think he was 17-0 with 15 knockouts, or 17-0 with 16 knockouts. He trains with Terrence Crawford. He trains with Bomac. He's a B&B boxing guy. But, he gets a featured fight, his first showcase fight, and it was a back-and-forth fight. One of the judges had him up on the cards, and he gets stopped late, okay, in a fight that he was picked to win. This is his bounce-back fight. This Avius Griffin is a decently sized welterweight, 147 pounds for you guys just getting to know the game. 6 foot tall welterweight, could crack knockout artists on paper. I can't find any tape on Cardona. So I reach out to my insider info source. He sends me some sparring footage of Cardona that's edited. And then other than that, you got to do your research to think about who is Justin Cardona as a boxer. Justin Cardona as a boxer turned pro 7 years ago, and he only has maybe 11 fights, and he's a lightweight, mind you. Justin Cardona fights at 135 pounds. He's recently fought a couple years ago. He took fights at 130 pounds. He's 5'8". And so when we're talking about a fight to get a guy back on track, when we're talking about a bounce back fight, I'm all over this prop. So I am playing this prop. I'm playing my two favorite fights this weekend, and I gave this in the Discord, is Avius Griffin by knockout and Callum Simpson to knock out Troy Williams at $1.85 as well. This is probably the I like this fight on the MVP card. I like Bumgarner on points, and then I like Anderson Silva on points. I usually wouldn't play that fight, but here's why. This is a 6 rounder. This is another bullshit boxing fight, right? This is just, you guys are asking me what I like on this card. All right, this is a 6 rounder. Anderson Silva is 138 years old, and Tyron Woodley's 43. But Anderson Silva, if you guys do your research, we're not just boxing here. I grew up in the MMA game. Go back to 2006 when Anderson Silva in 2006 knocked out Rich Franklin twice, 2 different fights, both with knees. I go back to that date, 2006, because that was 20 years ago, and I'll make my point here shortly. 20 years ago, Anderson Silva, when he was on his generational run, is one of the greatest middleweights of all time in MMA, 185 pounds. Now at 51 years old, he still fights at 185 pounds. This is why at 50 years old, he's been able to have this long combat sports career, because one of the things as we get older as fighters that deteriorates the body and the joints and the ligaments is the weight cut. Are guys who blow up and get out of weight, out of shape, and then have to cut all this weight. Your body only has so many of those weight cuts in it for it to be impactful and efficient. Anderson Silva weighed in at 191 pounds. He fought his whole career at 185. Tyron Woodley, he had this small window. I think he defended his strap 4 or 5 times. He's a grappling heavy fighter in the UFC. He's a welterweight in the UFC. Boxing welterweight's 147. MMA welterweight's 170. Why is this relevant? Tyron Woodley hasn't fought in 4 years when he got knocked out. He weighed in at 190 pounds. Now, this is only a 6 rounder. I think $1.97 on points is my play here. That's what I would take. I would take Spider on points based off of everything I just said. I like Avius Griffin by knockout. I like Alicia Bumgarner on points. Am I betting the house on the MVP card? Hell no. There's always fuckery around with Jake Paul. And I'm going to give my Jake Paul 2 cents. We're about 14, 15 minutes in. We're floating between 50 and 70 people on this live. If you guys are new to my channel, I say welcome. I do live streams every day. We don't just cover American. I live in Sydney, Australia. We cover all the fights internationally. So if you're new, I say welcome. If you've been here, you guys are my people. These are my people. Could you like this video? Could you hit subscribe? If you want to get into our professional bettors Discord, the screen you guys just saw, it's only a couple bucks a month. Johnny says boxing VIPs. We launched it 4 months ago. We're closing in on 330 VIPs. So I say thank you. It's my favorite thing about what I do online. I'm very active online. If you want to get a hold of me on Instagram, Johnny Stofko on Instagram, I always get back to you. You can ask the boys. So the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight. I didn't do a Stats Don't Lie video on this. I mean, I heard somebody give an interview today that I actually respect in the boxing game. I respect all fighters. I respect fighters that you've never heard of. I respect fighters that I've never heard of. If you're a fighter, I respect you. I don't respect most boxing analysts promotional wise, because obviously they're selling me a product. I'm not here to get sold. You know what I'm saying? I've been on my own since I was 18 years old. I'll be 44 in April. I'm not here to get sold. So I don't watch content creators. I only watch boxing. But I don't follow people. My point is this. I heard a boxer today give his take on Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, and he said this is a real fight. He said it's not It's not staged. He said Jake Paul is a freaking idiot. He said he's an ego-driven narcissist and he's going to get hurt. And he said he's going to tune in. He's going to tune in to watch it. So with that, and that's kind of like anybody who boxes. That's kind of their stance. So I know if it's a real fight, you take the under. I like the knockdown prop. I think I like 2 knockdowns. And why not take the first round? But so I'm only playing this as if it's a real fight. I'm not betting on this fight, but everything you're about to hear is on the guys, GUISE, for you folks who are just kind of understanding the dictation of the English language, under the guise that it's a real fight, okay? Jake Paul's been fighting. He turned pro what 6 7 years ago. That's a long dude. I have client like he should be. I think Jake Paul should be better than he is now. He's slow. He's flat footed. He doesn't know how to control range. He's uncomfortable. There's so many things. Anthony Joshua is AJ. Under 2.5 is the play. I mean, why not take the first round at 425? But I like this prop. Please don't put your rent or your mortgage on this fight. Please watch this fight for entertainment purposes. It's on Netflix for a reason. Netflix is an entertainment streaming company. Don't get pissed if you lose this fight. Don't put this on parlays. I would just take the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua prop and just put it on its own just for the sake so you can tune in and be engaged with the circus that will be. There are legit fighters on this undercard. So shout out to Jake for doing that like he always does. He hides his circus and his fuckery around actually legit fighters. So shout out to that. Um, I mean, will the fight go the distance at $1.24? I mean, are we? That's fucking crazy. Knockdown markets. Here's the one I really like. I like the 2+. I like the 2+. I can see Jake getting dropped with a body shot and then getting starched. 220. I would play that. I would play that prop. I wouldn't go heavy on that prop. I would play. Like I said, there's nothing about this fight that I would be investing all the bank in, right? But those are the 2 plays. The under 2.5 and everything other than that. If you guys want to debate, it's going to be based on, like I said, the fuckery of the sport. So if you're asking me about legit boxing, how this would go, first round knockout, 2 knockdowns. Save the DJ. Didn't listen to you. It's all good. You guys don't have to listen. You guys got other. You guys don't have to listen to me. Cobbs is out. All right, so that's my take. You boys are all tapping in. I appreciate everybody, guys. 75 people in, 20 minutes in. Like this video, hit subscribe. AJ said himself, he's never knocked someone out in 10 seconds. He builds on it. Yeah. If you guys, I'll show you the announcement if you guys are. I think somebody's asking about a fight. I don't know if you're talking about Cobbs. I'll just play it for you. All right, that's Crawford. This is my Instagram story. That's my big ass head. So this is we started our Patreon. If you guys want to further support me. Kenyon Valet looking good. This was the Pro Box card yesterday. So this was the knockout. This was the one I told everybody about. This was my upset of the Pro Box card. Marlon Harrington. He was just a level above. They threw him in there against a kid named Brian Polanco. Hadn't fought in a couple years. Just wasn't at his level, and you guys didn't listen. But it's all good. We don't always get it right. Double knockdown, boys. Look at this shit. Double knockdown, insane. That was a fun fight, man. Joe Sean James. That was a real fun fight. Dude, the Pro Box card, people were sleeping. Guys, if you are true blue boxing heads like myself, you got to watch these Pro Box cards. Herbert Conceição, he's a gold medalist, Brazilian, looked great. And Ramon Cardenas. Boy, Ramon was on fire last night. I like the coaching change. Um, Cardenas went with Manny Robles. And Cardenas just looked more patient, didn't smother his work. Almost looked like, when you're watching a counter boxer who could crack with both hands and you're watching him operate, because we've seen Ramon be super aggressive before on the front foot. Think about the Inoue fight. And then he changes camps. And so you know that he's a guy, Cardenas has that in him. And so as that fight is kind of going along, you're like, is he waiting too long? Is he waiting too long? But then when he cracked, he had, the first knockdown and then the one that just ended the show, you realize this is a kid who just has the utmost confidence in his power, the utmost confidence in his timing. I loved what I saw with Ramon Cardenas. He's a guy we featured on the channel before, and he looked great. That showbox card, that pro box card was off the hook. So this was a cheeky. This was the Pro Box four-legger plus 280, Harrington at plus 200, and then the three favorites. And then this is I've been on a heater, boys. Yeah, so that's I hit in the UK. That's the one we talked about. Win Santiago in Japan. He beat Donaire. We put him on a single, went heavy on him. This was the UK. Another one we ate with the George Fasoli card. And then this was Japan. Sutsumi, Santiago, and Princess Alice Kuaga by knockout. So yeah, we're on a heater. Some of the boys in the group betting thousands of dollars. Read that. That's 82,000 to win 8,000. Not my style of betting. 18,000 to win 2,000. This is in the Discord. 53,000. 53,000 to win 7,000. Not my style of betting, but hey man, he got his own little system. 82 to win 8 is wild. That's our Discord. You're cooking when you're hitting. I always hit props. So NFL's kind of my NFL and NBA prop. I guess I'm either a dog hunter in boxing. You know my style in boxing, but NFL and NBA, I do this shit like once or twice a week. I think part of it because I played the game my entire life, understanding the systems of the sport. Get into the Discord, boys. What are you waiting on? All right, here's the statement. So this was the statement Boxer put out about Cobbs being out because you guys were asking me about Blair Cobbs versus Whale. I was like, Jesus Christ, we're in the we're in the wilderness with this fight. Um, Boxer has been informed by the British Boxing Board of Council that Frankie Stringer has not been cleared to box following a pre-fight medical examination, which revealed an issue requiring further investigation. In addition, Blair Cobbs has been ruled out of his scheduled fight with Elliot Whale, declaring himself unfit to fight due to illness. These things happen. The health and safety of fighters remain Boxer's highest priority. Is that Ben Shalom? I didn't even know, but part of me I forgot about Boxer. Is that Ben Shalom? The health and safety of fighters remain Boxer's highest priority. Boxers work diligently to provide fans with the strongest possible fight card under the circumstances. Levi Giles will remain on the card, and Ashley Eels. So Ashley Eels will step in to fight Elliot Whale. So there you go. And I'll see what time. What are you boys up to? You boys are acting crazy. Thoughts on Carolyn? Guys, I don't know, man. I don't see these girls getting knockouts. I'll pull the odds up for you. Carolyn Dubois is not a knockout. Like would she have 7 on her record? I don't know, man. I'm not a look. If your name isn't Gabby Fundora, I'm not really taking you to win by knockout. You guys know my stance on that. There's not many women I'll take to win by knockout. Gabby Fundora is one of them. I don't mind betting money on Gabby to win by stoppage. Carolyn looks the part. I mean, she's hitting the pad. Shoulders are all popping. But let's have a look. I think one of these girls, you got the Shernika Johnson fight, you got the Alyssa Bumgarner fight, you got the Carolyn Dubois fight. I mean, there might be a draw in one of these. There might be an upset. I'm not saying this one, but yeah. So look, I don't really rate Italian female boxing. I know Camilla is Italian. Um, then again, I'm pretty sure the girl who came in and fought Bumgarner really tough, was she Italian? So maybe I'm misspeaking on that. Either way, you see the odds. Carolyn by knockout, a little bit more riskier than her on points. I don't know, man. I always feel more comfortable on points, but that's on you. I'm not guiding you on that one. That's just my take on that one. I'll only take Carolyn. I feel like she gets salvaged only out of the few. And Alicia fight 12 3 minutes round could possibly something there. I think Bumgarner, she starts off strong in her fights and then she fades. So like maybe if you like Alicia to stop her opponent, you go early, and then yeah, it could get real hard to watch just because the ladies they're used to they're used to 2 minute rounds. That fight, the 12 threes could get hard to watch. Hardest hitting female at the moment, in my opinion, Crazy Puncher. You think so, Carolyn? Chris Weeks. If I bet 82K, I'd be scared of being scammed by bookies. They don't like to pay back. What? They kept money from you? Hold on. Are you saying bookies or betting apps? Because if bookies aren't paying you back, bro, you got to call the boys. You got to call what's that scene out of Pulp Fiction? You got to call the hard hitting, pipe hitting boys. The cats with the pipes. Shout out to Rico Game Studio. He's not only in our Discord, he's a VIP, but he's also uh, super chatting. I appreciate you, mate. I'm betting everything. Are you? For real? Hold up. Is this a real statement here? You're taking Jake Paul. Oh, yeah, the Turkish girl. We just saw her fight. She was what, a 3-1 dog throwing hammers. So you know what? She's on my list. I'm gonna see more of her, and I'm welcoming her to my Gabby Fundora list. Good call, Game Studio. Brandon Mosqueda, DK put out something to where they're trying to claim. Hold on, what? So the betting apps aren't paying you? Am I tripping? The betting app MyBookie, I had trouble getting 2,000 back. They did all these verifications. That's insane. What about Shanika Johnson? Let's look at it. I don't rate Shanika Johnson. I mean, she looked good against Metcalf. I mean, she could be on upset alert here. I mean, she could lose this fight. I wouldn't be comfortable taking Sugar Neeks by stoppage here. Dude, Amanda Galley can win this fight. I don't think she's going to get stopped. Same. She's fit. She's strong. She's definitely not going to get bullied like Sharita got bullied. I think we're going to see one of these girls lose. Now, like, I would not be comfortable betting the house on any of these girl fights. And it's no offense to the ladies. It's just the matchmaking with the ladies. I was explaining this to I used to manage a girl fighter. You guys know, for 2 fights post pandemic, I managed Lynn Sandstrom. She's a fighter out of Sydney. She's she fought for a world title. But my point is this: shout out to Lynn, right? Shout out to Lynn. My point is when you look at the girl divisions, when fighting at like 122, 126, 118, because women's boxing is in its infancy globally, you only have like there's some divisions in ladies that have less than 200 ladies as pros. I think there's a division, what, 147 or 154 that has under 100 as pros. My point is, it's some some of the matchmaking, it's like that for a reason, and the divisions are top heavy. I think what's happening more and more, shout out to Jake Paul with him giving the ladies more opportunities here, is that we've seen, I mean, it's almost every time we see a fight card that is lady dominant, you're seeing somebody get upset. We just saw it last week with the Turkish girl. So I wouldn't be going too heavy on these fights. That's my take there. The Blair Cobbs fight is off. We talked about that. No, what I was doing for her was getting her promotional deals. I was getting her, um, basically, I was finding her money. I was the money guy. You know what I'm saying? So I know angel investors. I know guys who live in Dubai. I've done a couple documentaries in the past to where I got to know my network's pretty clean on that end. If I need money for like a project, so I was going and I was getting her patches on her shorts, patches on her shirt with bit, and then getting her money, so that sort of thing, and then learning the business, the behind the scenes business of A side and B side, and when you're trying to work your way up towards a belt, how much money the fighter is actually paying. Well, the fighter, the management is paying. You got to fly your opponent in. You got to pay for hotels. You got to pay the ref. You got to pay for the belt. All these sort of things, and that money has to come from somewhere. So I was the guy finding her money, and then after two fights, realizing how shady it was, dude. I'll just leave it at that. Oh, nice. I always had interest in matchmaking fights. You should do it, brother. I mean, if that's bro, we life is short, and boxing. My advice to all the boys out here: if there's something that you've always wanted to do, and I'm not even trying to get too esoteric with this, if somebody, my dad always said, Johnny, rest in peace to my pops. He passed away when I was 26. But he always said, Johnny, if there's somebody out there doing something that you really want to do, you can do it. It's all the proof. Obviously you gotta work, you gotta learn, you gotta research, you gotta educate, you gotta live your life by a certain creed. You gotta have your mind right. This is why I don't party. This is why I don't do drugs. It's why I train every day. Because at 44 years old, my plans that I have, the trajectory that my life is going, I know that my mind has to be healthy, strong, and clear. My heart has to be healthy, strong, and clear, and my body has to be healthy, strong, and clear. We still good. Will I ever make a video? You know what, Eddie? Maybe I'll wait until after people are done. I don't want it just left a horrible taste in my mouth. I'm talking like, yeah, good question. Still good. The boys upskill knows what I'm talking about. All right, let's see, boys. We are 35 minutes in, 70 of the homies in here. We out here eating. Um, let's look at there's some other fights. I want to show you. So put in your notes. I already shared in the Discord. I like Avius Griffin at 179 to stop Cardona. Cardona is a lightweight. He just kind of came out of nowhere. I could sell you on that. If you want me to sell you on Avius Griffin, I will. Here's the other one I like. It's tomorrow in the UK. Okay, so if you could either, I shared this as part of a three-legger. So I got Avius at $1.72 to win by stoppage. I like, and PJ, here you go, brother. I like Alicia on points at 147. And then this is my prop of the week. I gave you guys this prop last Monday. So this is tomorrow in the UK. When I get excited about prop bets, statistically speaking, they usually always hit right here. Let's go, dude. Callum at $1.80 to stop Troy. Boy, watch your tape. If you want me to sell you on any of these three, I will. Um, his traditionally, I would take either one of these three on their own. I mean, you get Avius at 72% return. You get Alicia at 47. Alicia would be good to build a little sneaky parlay around, but this is my method of victory parlay together. And then you get Callum at 80%. So if you put these three, you're at plus 355. But if you remove, I do, remove Alicia from there. Save Alicia, build a parlay for today around her. Take some of the favorites, put Alicia on points. I would probably take a couple other fighters on points. These two together, though, Avius and Simpson, plus 209. Boy, I already have a ticket loaded up on this one. So that's free game. I gave this to the Discordians. And just so you know, I have action on this exact ticket. If you don't like putting him on, I understand why you wouldn't trust Avius. He's coming off of a loss, his first loss. But my credence lies on the fact of Justin Cardona. It takes two to tango. Avius Griffin is a pretty big welterweight. I already talked about this. I shared this in the Discord. He's a knockout artist. He's trained by Bomac, B&B Boxing. He got brought up. He got a showcase fight with MVP, signed. They did a press conference, and he lost in a back and forth barn burner in which he was up on the cards, and he got stopped really late. This is his comeback fight. He's fighting a guy that Justin Cardona, you can't find any tape on him. I'm reaching out to sparring partners who live in New York. I'm reaching out to guys that, from Pro Box TV. Hey, Justin Cardona. And all I ended up getting back was a few sparring videos that were edited. And then I'm like, all right, I got to dig deeper. Then you start doing your own system of like give and taking of what you like in a matchup, right? This is what happened yesterday with Harrington. Why I picked Marlon Harrington over Brian Polanco. I got to this next level of film study is when there is no film, you then have to start talking about the statistics and measurements. Justin Cardona is a 5'8" lightweight. A 5'8" lightweight who turns pro 7-8 years ago and only has a handful of pro fights. You mix all of that with Avius Griffin, his momentum, who they think he is, what he looked like. I don't care that he got stopped in his last fight. One of my boys tried saying, yeah, but he got stopped in his last fight. He's going to be gun shy. Ramon Cardenas got stopped in his last fight, and we just saw how that turned out. He wasn't gun shy. Joe Sean James. So the narrative is there to play both sides like it always is. I'm comfortable with it, and I'm very excited about Simpson to stop Troy. I think Troy is ready to go. It's a red flag or a green flag, baby boy. It's either a big red flag or a big ass green flag, motherfucker. Right? That red. It's red on one side, boy, and then it starts windy, and then you're like, oh shit! If I look at it from a different direction, that shit's actually a green flag. So that's how I look at it, and I turn that bitch from a red flag into a green flag. Call me the magician out this bitch. But yeah, that's my take. And Rafa and Kingdom, you guys obviously have a point. But for every red flag, we could turn that bitch into a green flag. And then when it's green after the bell, and we still good, boy. Andresa Manislan, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. Carlos Utreov versus Tursunov. What is your thoughts? That is a fight that not on my radar right now. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Let me see if the book is on it. Let me see if the book is on it. Carlos Utria. La da 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 da. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. What you know about the Smurfs? You don't know nothing about the Smurfs, do you? What? Carlos Utria. I'll get to your question in a second, Gio. We already covered it. Tony Yoka fighting this weekend. Yeah, sorry, Andresa, I'm not seeing on my book, so we're gonna move on. Strange fight, but I see the public slowly leaning towards Woodley as a recent. I don't. No, I broke it down. If you want to rewind about 15 minutes ago, I told you why I like Silva on points. The play I like on that fight is Silva on points. It's a 6 rounder. Silva weighs in at 191 pounds. Woodley weighs in at 190. Woodley hasn't fought in 4 years. He's not a boxer. He's a grappler. He got knocked out, starched the last time we saw him. Silva has stayed busy. Even though he's 50, 51 years old, you have to remember, even in his prime, he fought at middleweight in the UFC at 185. So what's that tell us? He's never been out of weight. It's why he's 50 years old and he could still have a competitive professional combat career because he's never gotten out of shape. Tyron Woodley's taking this fight on short notice. This was supposed to be Chris Weidman. So, all things considered, it's a 6 rounder. I think Woodley should be able to handle Silva's power enough. I like Silva on points. That's my take. I did. LaFleur was crack-a-lack. Did you talk about Avius Griffin here? No. Avius Griffin is on my prop list. If you see it right here, LaFleur. Right there. This is my 2-leg prop for today and tomorrow. I like Avius Griffin to stop Justin Cardona at $1.72, and I like Callum Simpson to stop Troy at $1.80. You put those on the same ticket, you're getting plus 220. Whatever your unit is, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. The maths are quite simple there. So, yeah, I think Avius, at the end of the day, you're not going to find much video on Cardona. He's kind of an anomaly. What you will know about Cardona, he's a 5'8" lightweight, which in boxing is 135 pounds. He missed weight a few times. He took a couple fights at 138, 139 pounds. A couple years ago, he fights at 130. He turns pro 7, 8 years ago, and since then, he only has 10 pro fights. He's fighting a guy at 147 pounds, a 6 foot tall welterweight, in Avius Griffin. So when you put that, when you put these guys side by side, you have a 6 foot tall big welterweight versus a 5'8" lightweight. I asked the boys in the Discord, who the hell sanctioned this fight? I don't even think this fight should have been sanctioned. So I like Avius by knockout, and I'm living with it. It's a hill that I'm going to stay on. And when it comes through, if it comes through, we'll still be here. Even if we don't come through, we'll still be good. Blair Cobbs is not fighting. The fight is off. He pulled out due to health issues. I can't find odds. Don't you can't. That's a good thing. We're not betting on Misfits boxing. That's why. The universe is telling you V007. Don't do it. Don't bet on obscure Misfit boxing player. Stay away. Save your money, V007. We will not give you options to bet on this horse show. So yeah, we don't. I'm not getting options on it either. Thank God. Shanika on points. I think Shanika's on upset alert. That's all I'm saying. Amanda Galley can box. I think if you're leaning on Sugar Neeks, I like points. I don't think she stops Valet. Galley. There's Gallets on the card. There's Valets on the card. Yeah, I mean, personally, the value her on points at $1.51 isn't that great. Amanda Galley on points at 9-1. I like. I do. People are sleeping on her. Blair Cobbs is not fighting, brother. Blair Cobbs is not fighting. I think she stops her. Get your money then, Mayweather. Get your money, player. Chris, what did Tommy say? She's hot. I agree with. What did Tommy say? What did I miss? Shanika on points, Alicia on points, Simpson knockout. Yo, Shanika points, Alicia points, Simpson knockout. Let's go. What's that paying? We can add it up real quick. Shanika on points. Shanika on points is I like that. Alicia, I already have. Yep, I have her on points. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's throw Alicia on there on points. $1.47. Yo, plus 587. We're almost at 6-1. Let's go. Guys, I got to get ready for boxing. It's 6:45 a.m. We're at 95 people in the live stream. I hate to go. I hate to see you go, but I gotta go. I gotta go get my work in. Boom, boom, bing, 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 bing. Bah, 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 bing, bah, bah. Man, I love ripping that lead uppercut to the body in the pocket, boom, and then coming up top and then slipping under and then catching an angle, boy. Boy. I love it, man. I'm married to the game. Old head. Us old heads out here, married to the game. But I'm going live again for the MVP card. I'll be bring that smile. Chris, I know you. Chris, I've seen it. Chris, do you still spar? How old are you, Chris? So boys, we're up. We're doing well. Let's get this money. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna be going live for the MVP card. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's do it.